So we're going to talk about the hidden discounts in insurance that I haven't talked before on this channel at all. But before we do that, let me know in the comments below. I got a new shirt. I finally can afford to buy a t-shirt for the company. I'm thinking Think Insurance Guide. It's the easiest way to look me up, or Think Insurance on YouTube. Pretty cool. Thought I liked it. I'm excited, a little bit geeked about it. Let me know if you guys like the logo. It's not something I'm necessarily selling. I just thought it'd be cool to have. So we're going to talk about the 10 essentially hidden discounts that are on your car insurance. You're going to want to grab pen and paper, and at the end of the video, I'm going to give you a couple key pointers that you don't want to miss to get the best deal. Before we dive in, I want to suggest a route that you can take that you don't even need these discounts. They're good to have and they're in addition to, but there's a route that you can take that might be more beneficial. And we're going to talk about that near the end of the video, like I mentioned. And let's just dive in. Forgot to tell you, the logo's on the side of the arm too. It's pretty cool. Anyways, so the first hidden discount is the low mileage or short commute discount. Now, we mentioned that in a few of them, so it's kind of a semi-hidden. It really just depends on how much you drive. But the thing is, agents don't typically ask as often as they should. How many miles? Are you driving to and from work? Is it personal use, pleasure? Whatever the case is, how many miles per year? Some companies like Nationwide, who is part of one of the companies that our channel sponsor uses at coverinsurance.com, it's linked in the description below, but they have a specific mileage program where you can do a base pay and mileage on top of it. So that's one of the neat things that you can do with your low mileage options. AARP, or ARP as you've heard it or seen the commercials, most people don't know that you only have to be 35 to get in. It's typically a retiree program, and most people think you have to be 50. And insurance companies would say if you have an ARP membership, you can get a discount for that. Well, if you're 35, you can apply. It's $12.50 a year for the ARP membership, and some companies give a discount, but that's not the part that we're talking about. The part that I'm mentioning is that they offer a safety driving course through AARP. And if you take that driving course, you can apply for the safety driving education or safety driving course on your insurance. So not only can you possibly get a discount for having an ARP membership, but you can also get a discount for getting the safety driving course, and you're only paying $12.50 to get that. Buying your car insurance in advance. So if you're going to shop, I recommend you checking out Cover in the description below, where they compare all the companies. But if you're going to do that, you should do it in advance. I would say you need to do it at least 3 weeks in advance, which is typically when you get your policy renewal back. So if you're renewing a policy or if you're starting a new one, then I would try to shop ahead of time. I call it the early shopper discount, but it's something a lot of people don't plan ahead. It's a discount that gives you a reward for doing things without waiting till the last minute. It's normally 7 days in advance. Some companies go 10 days, and I've seen a few companies that just the longer you go, they add little discounts on top of it. Not something I would worry too much about. I would figure if you're 10 days in advance from purchasing the policy, you're normally in a good discount position. The fifth car insurance discount that you can apply for that's hidden is having a payment option. And we kind of talk about that in my top 15 discounts that you can go for, is how you pay. If you paid in full, if you pay electronically, if you pay by credit card, if you pay by check, by mail, or if you do any other type of payment, each of those has their own rankings. And it's not a percentage, but it's fees that they're bypassing to you. And those discounts can make a difference. If you pay monthly by the mail, you usually have a 20 to 30% down payment on your first month. Where if you do a checking account or routing an account number, you don't pay anything extra. You just pay the first month. There may be a $2 service fee for the monthly payment. And then if you paid in full, companies like Progressive, who is also with Cover, will give you a discount up to 8 to 10%. Sometimes I've seen it higher off just for paying in full. It's a pretty big discount that you can reward yourself with. The fifth, and I think is one of the largest discounts, is a driving device. It's putting a testing tracking system on you. We pretty much do it everywhere we go. If you've got Facebook, if you've got Twitter, I don't know if you know this, but they track everything you do on your phone unless you opt out. It defaults to opt in most cases. So when you log out of that app, you go into your bank, you go into anything, it's tracking you. You don't realize it, but almost a third of the apps that you have on your phone are tracking you at some point. So if we're willing to give up some of our data and say, follow me around for 3 weeks or 2 weeks or whatever the course is, you can watch me brake, you can watch me drive off, you can watch me if I'm on my phone, you can watch any car related thing, and it's called a telematics. That gives 10 to 20 to 30% off your entire policy. It gets crazy. I've done one with Progressive on this channel. I've done one with State Farm. I've done the nationwide one. We've done the USAA one. And we've pretty much covered the major companies with their telematics systems. They're not all great. There are some programs out there that aren't the best. And I recommend the one that you're with or the company you're with, go to the channel here, Think Insurance, and search for that company. You're going to get an honest review that I've given by testing the system, getting feedback from other people that will show you if it's worth it to do. In most cases, it's worth it only for the fact that you get the discount and they don't count it against you if you don't drive good. That's a huge benefit. Now, not all of them do that. So like I said, you got to watch, learn a little bit about those before you dive into it. And keep in mind, you are giving up your data for a short period of time. It's just something that you have to decide is worth it or not. The sixth one is starting to become a popular piece in the industry, and it's one of the pieces that may affect the industry in total. It's having an electric vehicle. If you have an electric vehicle, there's a discount that you can get for having an efficient vehicle. Saves money, saves gas, if it auto brakes, if it auto turns, if it's a Tesla, there's all sorts of discounts that you can apply that these companies are starting to ask questions about. I've seen it across the board, auto braking has become a thing, and that's helping people get a better deal on their insurance. But most agents don't know that that's there because it's something new that's happening in the market. Make sure you're getting that auto discount on your car insurance. The seventh piece is having a low jack system. It's part of a car alarm and a low jack. You get a discount for having a car alarm anyways. If you push a button and it arms itself, that's a passive alarm. If you have an active alarm where if you leave your car for 30 seconds or a minute or whatever you timed it for, it locks the doors, turns the alarms on. Those are two different types of discounts. Those are okay. They give you a couple dollars off your policy, but the hidden piece is low jack. Companies don't necessarily dive into what you have. It's just a question they're going to ask you. And the agents don't ask very often because most people don't have the low jack. That's a past question because most cars are now coming with low jack, where if you have an app and you can track where your car went and you can see what happens, you can start your car with your phone, that's a low jack system. You need to let your agent know that you have that low jack system. It's going to give you a pretty good discount on your car insurance. It's worth it. The eighth piece I technically already mentioned, I think on the third one, is the paid in full. Different companies like Progressive or Allstate or AAA or many of those companies give pretty good discounts for paid in full. It's just something that doesn't cost them much money. They know that you're going to keep the policy for long term or most likely, and they're just going to give you a deal for that. The ninth, I have to put it in here. It's the one everybody knows about, home and auto together, home and auto together, home and auto together, multi-policy discount. It's the biggest one you can get. It's 20 to 30% off, and it's definitely worth it if you're going to go that route. I'm going to make a couple videos on the non-home and auto discounts where you don't combine them. Sometimes you can get a better deal. The more I've been researching at if it's cheaper for this home and cheaper for this auto, what's the loss or what's the give and take of having those versus having them all with one company. If you are interested in learning more about that, let me know in the comments or subscribe to the channel and you'll be notified when that's released. You just have to turn the bell icon on. And the 10th piece before we get into the bonus section is a kind of odd discount. It's called farm use or farm vehicle, but there's more than just that part. Farm use is when you have a farm or you have land and you don't take the car off the land, or if you do, it's very, very rare that it happens. It lowers the risk because you're not likely around other vehicles. And the only damage that you're likely going to have is hitting a hole or something like that, and you might need towing or something. It's essentially a low risk, similar to when you use a vehicle for business, that's a higher risk. If you use it for work, that's a little bit lower risk. If you use it for personal or pleasure use, that's a little bit lower risk. And then the final bottom lowest risk is farm use. So if you're going to have the vehicle on a plot of land and it's for farm use, that's going to give you an additional discount on your policy. So the bonus tip, the part that you guys might have skipped all of these for, is how to shop for the insurance policy. I'm going to give you just the quickest, easiest way to determine this, and then I'm going to show you a route that you should take next. The quickest, easiest way to determine this, and I'm not saying you have to go outside of your current company. If you like your agent, and that's great, 100%. What I recommend is you find a company that shops multiple companies. You can go to Google and search your local area. You can go online and try to find different companies yourself, or you can check out the channel sponsor, which is Cover. Now, this isn't an ad piece. This is actually my recommendation, is to go to a Cover option where you can check out multiple companies. I saved like 40 some odd % in the quote that I did with them. Here's what I'm recommending. Check this out no matter which route you go. Go to that company, get your quote. It might not be the same coverage. That's the thing you got to be wary of. If you want to compare apples to apples, download a copy of your current policy. You can even go to a company called Glovebox and download your policy into your phone, and you can see your current policy. There's a page on there or a policy document called the deck page, the declarations page. Get a copy of that. Do the quote through whichever route you go. I'm using Cover in this example, and get the quote. Take the quote. With Cover, you don't have to actually talk to anybody. That's the cool part, is you're going to get a text that says, hey, would you like to talk to somebody? I would reply yes. And when you talk to them, get their email, say, hey, I'm going to forward you a copy of my current policy. Can you review that and let me know what pieces I'm missing as far as discounts compared to what you're offering? And that person is going to take the time to review your policy, go over the details, compare it to the company that they're with, whether it's Allstate or Nationwide or Progressive or whoever they're going through, and they're going to give you their best foot forward and show you possible gaps that you might have in your policy. If you don't have a company, like I said, that you go through, the link's in the description below. That's the route I would go. If you're curious to learn a little bit more about Cover and why I chose them as a channel sponsor, go ahead and watch the review where I did a full-on review of them before they became a channel sponsor. So this was something that I was looking into them ahead of time. I liked the program that they offered, and that's the reason that I partnered with them on Think Insurance. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are and any discounts that you might be missing. Otherwise, check out the review we did on Cover to show you the best possible option for shopping. I'm Mark with Think Insurance. I'll see you in the next one.